Visualize and conquer the final goal.
Finish line.
Let's go.
Yo.
Visualize and conquer the final goal. Strong. I visualize the final goal. Conquer the objective all along. Finish line. Cross the finish line here.
Finish line.
Crystal clear. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Now I visualize the final goal. Final goal inside. I take a bow.
Finish line.
See the finish line rise.
Finish line.
Claiming the prize. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Real. I visualize the final goal. Conquer the final objective. That's the deal.
Finish line.
Cross the finish line. Shine.
Finish line.
By design. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Pure. I visualize the final goal. Finish line calling. I'm sure.
Finish line.
See the finish line here.
Finish line.
Crystal clear. Finish line. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Bless. I visualize the final goal. Conquer the objective. I'm blessed.
Finish line.
Cross the finish line complete.
Finish line.
Can't be beat. Finish line. Right. Go. Claiming the prize. Conquer. Finish where I belong.
Finish line.
Climb.
Finish line. Visualize and conquer the final goal. I see it. Finish line. Visualize the final goal. Conquer the objective. Beat it. Cross the finish line. Final goal is sight divine. See the finish. I got to find the bounce. Finish line. The finish line. Conquer the final objective. Finish line. Final goal. Finish line. Final goal. Objective. Finish line. Final goal.
Conquer the further objective.
Stronger.
Visualize and conquer the final goal. True, I visualize the final goal. Conquer the objective. Breaking through.
Finish line.
Cross the finish line here bright.
Finish line.
Burning bright.
Finish line.
Visualize and conquer the final goal. Said I visualize the final goal. Final goal in sight. No regret.
Finish line.
See the finish line rise gold.
Finish line.
Being bold. Whoa. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Deep I visualize the final goal. Conquer the final objective. Promises I keep. Finish line. Cross the finish line. Fly.
Finish line.
Reaching high. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Fire. Visualize the final goal. Finish line. Calling. Reaching higher.
Finish line.
See the finish line free.
Finish line.
Setting me free.
Finish line.
Visualize and conquer final goal lock. I visualize the final goal. Conquer the objective. Never block.
Finish line.
Cross the finish line. Complete. Wait.
Finish line.
Every day.
Finish.
Finish line. Fly.
Go.
Reaching high.
Conquer. Get up.
Free.
Finish line.
Setting me free.
Finish line.
Visualize and conquer the final goal. I see it.
Finish line.
Visualize the final goal. Conquer the objective. Beat it. Cross the finish line.
Finish line.
Final goal is sight divine.
Finish line.
See a finish line. The final goal. Go straight. Finish line. Final finish line. Conquer the final objective. Finish line.
Finish line. Visualize and conquer the final goal. I see it.
Finish line.
Finish line.
The final goal. Objective. Finish line.
Finish line.
The final finish line. Finish line.
Finish line.
Conquer the final objective. Stronger. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Here I visualize the final goal. Conquer the objective. No fear.
Finish line.
Cross the finish line. Here crown.
Finish line.
Never down. Visualize and conquer the final goal. Power. I visualize the final goal. Final goal in sight. I take out.
Finish line. Finish line.
Activation. Blah 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 blah. Activation. Blah 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 blah. Activation. Blah 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 blah. The exact moment when you decide to change everything. Activation. Let's go. Activation. The exact moment you decide to change everything strong. I live the moment you decide to change everything. All along, activation moment here. Activation, crystal clear. The exact moment when you decide to change everything now. I live the moment you decide to change everything. Decision to change everything. I take a vow.
Activation.
The exact moment of change, rise. Activation claiming the prize. The exact moment when you decide to change everything real. I live the moment you decide to change it. Try to change every activation now. That's the deal. Activation moment shine. Activation. Activation. The exact moment when you decide to change everything. everything pure. I live the moment you decide to change everything, decide to change everything. Now I'm sure. Activation. It is a moment of change, yeah. Activation crystal clear. Activation. I live the moment you decide to change everything. The moment of activation is I care. Activation, the exact moment when you decide to change everything. I rise. Activation, the moment when you decide to change everything, claiming the prize. Activation, the moment when we change the beat and to change everything. Potent. Activation, decide to change everything. Glide. Down. The moment you decide. Down. Change everything worldwide. Down. The moment you decide to change everything worldwide. Activation. The exact moment when you decide to change everything true. I live the moment you decide to change everything. Breaking through. Activation. Activation moment here, bright. Activation. Burning bright. Activation. The exact moment when you decide to change everything, said. I live the moment you decide to change everything. Decision to change everything, no regret. Activation. The exact moment of change, rise gold. Activation being bold. Activation. The exact moment when you decide to change everything. I live the moment you decide to change everything. Activation now promises I keep. Activation. Activation moment fly. Activation reaching high. Activation steadily fire. Live the moment you decide to change everything. Activation. 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 The exact moment when you decide to change everything. I rise. Activation. Moment when you decide to change everything. Claiming the prize. Activation. Moment activation. Decision to change everything. Potent. Activation. Activation. Motivation. Decide to change everything. No mental limits. No mental limits. No mental limits. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. No mental limits. Let's go. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Strong, I break internal barriers imposed by yourself. All along, no mental limits. Break internal barriers here. No mental limits, crystal clear. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Now I break internal barriers, self-imposed limits broken. I take a vow. No mental limits, mental barriers shattered. Rise. No mental limits, claiming the prize. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Real. I break internal barriers, limitless mind. That's the deal. No mental limits. Break internal barriers, shine. No mental limits by design. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Pure. I break internal barriers. No mental limits here, I'm sure. No mental limits. Mental barriers shattered here. No mental limits. Crystal clear. Crystal clear. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Blessed. I break internal barriers. Break the barriers you created. I'm blessed. No mental limits. Break internal barriers complete. No mental limits can't be. Mental limits. Rise. Break. Claiming the prize. Barriers strong. Mental. Where I belong. Mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. I'm free. No mental limit. Break internal barriers self-imposed. I'm broken. I see. No mental limit. Shattered. No mental limit. It's mine. What mad? No mental limit. No mental limit. Here. Break the barriers you created. Here. No mental limit. Lean so free. No minds and letters. Lariat. Break internal barriers. No mental limit imposed by yourself. No carriers. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. True, I break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Breaking through no mental limits. Break internal barriers here bright. No mental limits burning bright. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Said I break internal barriers self-imposed limits broken. No regret. No mental limits. Mental barriers shattered. Rise gold. No mental limits. Being bold. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Deep. I break internal barriers. Limitless mind promises I keep. No mental limits. Break internal barriers fly. No mental limits reaching high. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself. Fire. No mental limits. Break internal barriers reaching higher. No mental
no barriers imposed by yourself. I break internal barriers, no mental limits here. Reaching higher, no mental limits. Mental barriers shattered free. No mental limits setting me free. No mental limits. No mental limits. Break internal barriers imposed by yourself, left free. No mental limits. Break internal barriers, self-imposed limits broken, I see. No mental limits. Shatter. No mental limit. Limitless mind, what matter? No mental limit. No mental limit. Here, break the barriers, you create them. No mental limit. Mental freedom, rising ill.
Turn on to the max. Turn on to the max. Turn on to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Turn on to the max. Let's go. To the max. Yo. Let's go. Turn on to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Strong, operating at absolute peak, maximum state all alone. Turn on to the max. Peak performance mode here. Turn on to the max. Crystal clear on to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Now I'm operating at absolute peak. Switch on maximum, I take a vow. Turn on to the max. Down into the max. Rise. Turn on to the max. Claiming the prize. To the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Real, I'm operating at absolute peak. Running at full capacity, that's the deal. Turn to the max. Peak stay activated, shine. Turn on to the max. On the pitch by design. Turn to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Pure, I'm operating at absolute peak. Maximum state, I'm sure. Turn on to the max. Peak performance mode here. Turn on to the max. Crystal clear, turn to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Blast, I'm operating at absolute peak. Switch your max. Ass, turn on to the max. Dial into the max complete. Turn on to the max. Can't be beat. Max, claiming in the prize. Turn on to the max. Turn on to the max. Turn on to the max. This is a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Turn the rate at absolute peak. Maximum state you need. Put on to the max. Switch to maximum beast mode. Turn on to the max. Dial into the max, but it ain't full capacity. Turn the race T. Turn the race T. Peak. Turn the race key. Turn on to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. True, I'm operating at absolute peak. Maximum state, breaking through. Turn on to the max. Peak performance mode here. Turn on to the max. Ride and ride. Turn to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Said I'm operating at absolute peak. Much strong maximum mode. Red. Turn on to the max. Dial into the max. Rise. Turn on to the max. Being bold. Turn to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Deep. I'm operating at absolute peak. Running at full capacity. Promises I keep. Turn for onyx. Crystal activate. Fly. Turn on to the max. Reaching high. Turn to the max. Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Bag. I'm operating at absolute performance mode. Reaching high. Turn on to the max. Do the standards more complete. Turn on to the max. Every breeze. Turn to the max. Turn on fly. Max. Reaching high. Peak. Free. Turn. Setting me free. Turn. Setting me free. Turn on to the max. 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 Into a state where you operate at your absolute peak. Turn the rating at absolute peak. Maximum state unique. Turn on to the max. Switch it on maximum beast mode. Turn on to the max. Dial into the max, buzzing at full.
Armor discipline. Armor discipline.
virtue. Consistency above all. Armor discipline. Let's go. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue. Consistency above all. Strong. I live nothing to virtue. Consistency above all. All alone. Armor discipline, discipline is armor here. Armor discipline, crystal clear. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue. Consistency above all. Now I live nothing to virtue, unshakable consistency. I take a vow, armor discipline, armor by discipline rise. Armor discipline, claiming the prize. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Real. I live nothing to virtue, consistency is everything, that's the deal. Armor discipline, discipline is armor shine. Armor discipline by design. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Pure. I live nothing to virtue, nothing can divert, I'm sure. Armor discipline, armor by discipline here. Armor discipline, crystal clear. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Blessed. I live nothing to virtue, consistency above all, I'm blessed. Armor discipline, discipline is armor complete. Armor discipline, can't be beat. Armor discipline rise. Nothing, claiming the prize. Consistency strong. Armor, where I belong. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. True. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Standing tail. Discipline is armor discipline, unshakable consistency, harder. Armor discipline, armored by discipline, consistency is everything. Armored discipline, nothing can divert, conquering. Nothing divert. Nothing to virtue, nothing to virtue, grab the ring. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. True. I live nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Breaking through, armor discipline. Discipline is armor here, bright. Armor discipline, binding bright. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Set. I live nothing to virtue, unshakable consistency, no regret. Armor discipline, armor by discipline, rise gold. Armor discipline, being bold. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Deep. I live nothing to virtue, consistency is everything, promises I keep. Armor discipline is armor fly. Armor discipline, reaching high. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Fire. I live nothing to virtue, nothing can divert, reaching higher. Armor discipline, free. Armor discipline, setting me free. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Lock. I live nothing to virtue, consistency above all, never block. Armor discipline is armor complete. Wait, armor discipline every day. Armor discipline fly. Nothing, reaching high. Consistency, free. Armor, setting me free. Armor discipline, nothing to virtue, consistency above all. Extended plumb. Armor discipline is armor discipline, unshakable discipline. Armor discipline, armored by discipline, consistency is everything. Armored discipline. God in front, fear behind. God in front, fear behind. Walking with faith eliminates fear. God in front, fear behind. God in front, fear behind. God's God in front, fear behind. Let's go. God in front, fear behind. I walk with faith and fear is gone. When God guides, fear loses space, I carry on. I walk with faith, it eliminates fear completely. God in front, fear behind, moving freely. When God is in front, fear stay behind me always. I walk with faith, fear loses space on my days. God guides my path, fear loses its place. God in front, fear behind. Winning the race, I got God ahead, fear in the back. Walking with faith strong. When God guides, fear loses space where I belong. I walk with faith, it eliminates fear from my mind. God in front, fear behind, peace
peace I find when God leads the way. Fear retreats and disappears. I walk with faith, eliminates fear, conquering fears. God guides my step, fear loses space to exist. God in front, fear behind, I persist. I keep God in front, fear behind, walking with faith, true. When God guides, fear loses space, breaking through. I walk with faith, it eliminates fear every day. God in front, fear behind, showing the way. God in front,
God in front,
God in front,
fear behind.
walk with faith,
Walk with faith,
peace I find,
peace I find.
God guides,
God guides,
fear loses space,
fear loses space.
God in front, winning the race. God in front, fear behind. I walk with faith, eliminate spirit, mind, soul, body from how I hide. When God guides, fear loses space every day. Walk with front, fear behind. God guides, fear loses space. God in front, fear behind. God in air, behind, fear in the back, stay strong. God, right behind. God guides, fear loses space. How I long, walking with faith, eliminates fear. God in front, fear behind. God in front, fear behind. I walk with faith and fear can't stay. When God guides, fear loses space, light in the way. I walk with faith, it eliminates fear from my soul. God in front, fear behind, reaching the goal. When God is in front, fear stays behind, no power here. I walk with faith, fear loses space, crystal clear. God guides my journey, fear loses its grip. God in front, fear behind, making a trip. I got God ahead, fear in the back, walking with faith now. When God guides, fear loses space, I take a vow. I walk with faith, it eliminates fear from my heart. God in front, fear behind, playing my part. When God leads my life, fear retreats to the rear. I walk with faith, eliminates fear, no more fear. Guides my way, fear loses space to remain. God in front, fear behind, breaking the chain. I keep God in front, fear behind, walking with faith, real. When God guides, fear loses space, that's the deal. I walk with faith, eliminates fear from my path. God in front, fear behind, doing the math. God in front, fear behind, God in front, fear behind, stay. Walk with faith, light in the way. God guides, fear loses grip, God in front, making a trip. God in front, fear behind, I live with faith, eliminates fear, finds way. God in front, fear behind. When God guides, fear loses space every day. Walk with faith, fear behind. God guides, fear loses space. God in front, fear behind. God ahead, fear behind. Fear in the back, face strong. God in front, fear behind. God, fear loses weight. I belong, walking with faith, eliminates fear. God in front, fear behind. Fear behind, God in front. Fear behind. God in front, fear behind, walking with faith, eliminates fear. God's way, God in front, fear behind. When God guides, fear loses way every day. Walk with faith, fear behind. God guides, fear loses space. God in front, fear behind. God ahead, fear behind. Fear in the back, face strong. God in front, fear behind. God, fear loses way. I belong, walking with faith, eliminates fear. God in front, fear behind.
Internal explosion. Internal explosion. Internal explosion. All the accumulated pressure turning into energy. Pressure builds inside. Internal explosion.
Let's go. Internal explosion. All the accumulated pressure turning into energy strong. I feel the pressure builds inside. Pressure turns to power all along.
Internal explosion. Explosion from within here. Internal explosion. Crystal clear. Internal explosion. All the accumulated pressure turning into energy now. I feel the pressure builds inside. Accumulated pressure becomes energy. I take a vow. Internal explosion. Pressure rising, turning into fire. Rise. Internal explosion. Claiming the prize.
Internal explosion. All the accumulated pressure turning into energy real. I feel the pressure builds inside. Internal explosion ignites. That's the deal. Internal explosion. Pressure turns to power shine. Internal explosion by design. Internal explosion. All the accumulated pressure turning into energy pure. I feel the pressure builds inside. Pressure to power transformation. I'm sure. Internal explosion. Accumulated pressure becomes energy here. Internal explosion. Crystal clear.
Internal explosion. Explosion. Internal explosion. All the accumulated turning into energy blessed. I feel the pressure builds inside. Explosion from within. I'm blessed. Internal explosion. Pressure rising, turning into fire complete. Internal explosion. Can't be beat.
Internal explosion rise. Pressure, claiming the rise. Turning, energy strong. And internal, where I belong.
Internal explosion.
All the accumulated pressure turning into energy.
Internal explosion.
Just the bills inside, pressure comes to power breaking through.
Internal explosion. Explosion from lights in here bright. Internal explosion. Burning bright.
Internal explosion, accumulated pressure becomes energy every internal explosion, all the accumulated pressure turning into energy deep. I feel the pressure builds inside, internal explosion ignites, promises I keep. Internal explosion, pressure turns to power fly.
Internal explosion,
reaching high.
Internal explosion,
all the accumulated pressure turning into energy fire. I feel the pressure builds inside, pressure to power transformation, reaching high.
Internal explosion,
accumulated pressure becomes energy free.
Internal explosion, setting me free, ready. Internal explosion,
setting me free.
Internal explosion, all the accumulated pressure turning energy lock. I feel the pressure builds inside, an explosion from within never block. Internal explosion, pressure rises and running till the fire come be away. Internal explosion, every day.
Internal explosion fly. Pressure reaching high. Turning, energy free. Internal, setting me free.
Internal explosion,
all the accumulated pressure turning into energy set.
internal explosion,
Pressure builds inside, pressure from within never block.
internal explosion, internal explosion, internal explosion, internal explosion.
Pressure that transforms. Pressure that transforms. Pressure that transforms.
The more pressure, the stronger you become. Pressure that transforms. Let's go! Pressure that transforms. The more pressure, the stronger you become strong. I live more pressure, more strength all along. Pressure that transforms. Pressure makes you stronger. Yeah, pressure that transforms. Crystal clear. Yeah.
Pressure that transforms. The more pressure, the stronger you become now. I live more pressure, more strength transformed by pressure. I take a vow. Pressure that transforms. Pressure that transforms. You rise. Pressure that transforms. Claiming the prize.
Pressure that transforms. The more pressure, the stronger you become real. I live more pressure, more strength, stronger. Under pressure, that's the deal. Pressure that transforms. Pressure makes you stronger, shine. Pressure that transforms by design.
Pressure that transforms. The more pressure, the stronger you become pure. I live more pressure, more strength transfer. Feels trained, I'm sure. Pressure that transforms. Pressure that transforms. You hear? Pressure that transforms. Crystal clear.
Pressure, the stronger you become blessed. I live more pressure, more strength transform. By pressure, I'm blessed.
Pressure that transforms.
Pressure makes you stronger, complete.
Pressure that transforms.
Can't be. Pressure, transform, rise, stronger, claiming the prize, more, strong. Pressure that transform where I belong.
Pressure that transforms.
Pressure that transforms. The more pressure, the stronger you become true. I live more pressure, more strength, breaking through. Pressure that transforms. Pressure makes you stronger. Here, bright.
Pressure that transforms.
The more pressure, the stronger you become set. I live more pressure, more strength, transformed by pressure, no regret. Pressure that transforms. Pressure that transforms you grow. The stronger you become deep. I live more pressure, more strength, stronger. Under pressure, promises I keep.
Pressure that transforms.
Pressure makes you stronger. Fly.
Pressure that transforms.
Reaching high.
Pressure that transforms. The more pressure, the stronger you become fire. I live more pressure, more strength. Pressure builds strength. Reaching higher. Pressure that transforms. Pressure that transforms you free. Pressure that transforms. Setting me free.
on fire. Stronger, stronger.